I don't know if I've ever seen Vivek go as hard as he did right here, going off on the ABC debate moderators and their corruption that came with that Kamala Harris-Donald Trump debate. You guys are not going to want to miss this.
And to discuss this debate is Vivek Ramaswamy. Of course, you know Vivek from his presidential run. He's been on this stage a few times himself. Vivek, welcome to the show. Great to talk to you.
Hey, good to see you, man.
I have to get your quick take on last night's debate, the 3-on-1 pile-on, the David Muir and Lindsey Davis versus Donald Trump debate. What was your take?
So a few things. I mean, I'll call like I see it, right? Did Kamala Harris exceed the already low and purposefully low expectation set for her? Yeah, I think she did. But the media narrative is now magnifying that into something that was very different than what actually happened. I thought Donald Trump's best moment, I think the best moment for either candidate on substance last night, I actually think, was Donald Trump being able to inform a lot of independent voters and a lot of undecided voters what his actual position, the Republican Party's actual position is on abortion, on IVF, where they've told the public for a long time, the Harris campaign and the media has embedded this, saying that he would sign a federal ban on abortion. I actually thought that was one of the exchanges where he came out with crystal clarity, and also the fact that he's going to champion IVF. I know that seems like one of the smaller topic-focused takeaways from last night, but if you fast forward this 3 weeks, that's one of the most substantive impacts I think it's going to have on the race for an issue that a lot of people do seem to think is a big one for the presidential race at the level of voters. I think the 3-on-1 pile-on was an embarrassment for ABC. I think that David Muir in particular did an awful job of even feigning even-handedness. Often what you see in media bias is you'll see the appearance of feigning balance. I think in David Muir's case, they didn't even try to feign balance with the number of times they fact-checked, I use that in air quotes, fact-checked Donald Trump, but without even attempting to really go after Kamala Harris for her prevarication on a wide range of topics.
I mean, let's be real. Did David Muir even fact-check Kamala Harris once? Almost as if he was told by higher-ups, don't go after her no matter what. Just let her say whatever. She could spew any lie. Just don't check her on it. Just let it go. Many of us can understand, okay, this is a corrupt moderator. It's not very fair. But there's millions of Americans who can't. There's millions of people watching the debate. They don't really care for either side. They're just here to check it out. And say, you know what? Trump's getting fact-checked a lot. I don't know if I want to support this guy for president. That's what the establishment is banking on. They are hoping the reticent voter just says, you know what? I don't want to deal with the drama and the lies and all the stuff that is Trump because he's getting fact-checked all the time. Why don't I just go with Kamala? She's smiling a lot. That's what they're hoping for.
I think President Trump, could hit even harder. I think he hit it hard last night, but I hope in any future debates that come up he does, is the question he really nailed in the conclusion, which is, why haven't you done everything that you're now saying you're going to do over the 4 years that you actually held power along with Joe Biden? He made a compelling case for that in the closing. I thought one of his sharpest moments was actually said when he said, we can end this debate and you can actually go back and sign a bill. And if not sign a bill, take an executive action that would close the border. And in some ways that, in that short moment, highlighted what I think is probably his most powerful argument throughout all of her race to the center. She can say what she wants, but her actions speak louder than words. And I think the best moments for him were last night when he actually allowed that theme to come through. Overall, 2 weeks from now, I don't think this is going to have a major impact on the race. I think it's going to come down to a couple of open issues that haven't been addressed on policy by Kamala Harris. But that's my off the press.
No, I mean, I totally agree, obviously.
Vivek is without a doubt one of the smartest minds in the political sphere because he's exactly right. If Kamala Harris says she's going to do all these things, then why don't you freaking do it? You're in the Oval Office every single day. You can get this stuff done. People know how their life is under a Harris administration, the Biden-Harris administration. People also remember what life was like under Donald Trump. And for the life of me, I can't think of any way which our country is better now than it was before. So Trump nailed it. You want to do all these things for the country, Kamala? Why don't you do it tomorrow morning? Why don't we end this debate right now and just do it instantly? That would cure our nation. It's not like Donald Trump only wants to become president because he loves power and he wants to be king and all the stuff that the Democrats spew, because that's not true. He just wants our nation to thrive. I genuinely think, although it might hurt his polls, he would like if Kamala closed the border because he just wants the country to be thriving.
Well, this felt like a missed opportunity more than anything else because Kamala Harris has been avoiding questions like the plague. She's going to continue to avoid questions like the plague because she can't answer any of those questions. And it seems to me this race really revolves around Donald Trump establishing about her three very basic principles. One, she's the vice president. She's currently responsible for everything that is happening in the White House. The president is not competent. She's the vice president. She owns all of this. Two, she's a far leftist. She herself has said her values have not changed. So even if she's pretending that her actual policies have changed, her values have not, she's admitted as much. And three, she's an incompetent, and she's always been an incompetent. And I don't think that he actually was able to really establish any of those things on the stage last night. I think he planted seeds. The problem was that there was so much going on. He was so distracted, I think, by many of the attacks that she was leveling against him, against his rallies, that it just felt discombobulated. And what we really needed was something that was a lot more focused. And I'm hoping that there are 2 months to go. It's still a long time. That this campaign gets a lot more focused on those issues and just sticks to those issues and pummels her on those.
Yeah, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse and complaining about aspects of last night. One hard reality is that would have been a job for the moderators in a format in which they have muted mics. Donald Trump, I think, did try at several points in time to address questions to Kamala Harris, but that wasn't the level or the type of format that had been negotiated. And when the moderators completely abdicated that responsibility, I think it was a missed opportunity for voters, is what I would say, to see a lot of those holes in Kamala Harris's policy positions. I agree with 90% of what you said. The only part I disagree with, you and maybe some others when they've made this claim is I think calling Kamala Harris a far left Marxist is almost giving her too much credit. It assumes that she's ideological, right? Bernie Sanders is ideological. Okay, you could give somebody, I disagree with his ideology, but he has an ideology. I don't think Kamala Harris particularly has an ideology. I think what's closer to the flame is the idea that she's just another cog in the system.
You've said it before, it's totally right, by the way. It's totally right. I mean, they're slapping a new coat of paint on this ugly jalopy. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my perspective on, as we wrap up the debate from last night. Basic thing is I think a lot's going to happen in the next 6 weeks, and 2 weeks from now, I think much of that debate's going to be irrelevant, except for, I think, the ability to take the legs out from under the Democrat argument on abortion, which I think was a quiet but underappreciated positive coming out of last night.
Vivek is a beast. I love this dude. Everything he said makes so much sense, and he articulates it in such a way where everybody can understand. I think he would be a fine president after Donald Trump. Going back to what they were saying, Kamala Harris is such a threat to our republic because we don't know what she will do. We don't have a clear understanding of what her policy is. She says some things that are completely unconstitutional and radical, and then on some other issues, she just stays silent and she doesn't really tell us. We're kind of just grasping at straws at what she truly believes in. Like when she said on the debate stage that she would never take the guns away, we have her on record. There are video recordings of her saying, yeah, we're going to force mandatory buybacks for all your guns. Excuse me, that just violates the Second Amendment. Who the heck do you think you are that you think that you are more powerful than the United States Constitution? I really hope that people can see through the fraud that is this woman. Now, I'm not just some crazy Republican guy who hates Democrats, because I don't. I consider myself independent. It just seems like there's only some Republicans that are making sense, like Donald Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy, J.D. Vance. These people make sense. I also love RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, and even Elon Musk. They speak sense. These people claim they were Democrats a couple years ago. It's not like we're all some crazy extremists. We're people trying to speak common sense, but it just seems in a world full of lies, speaking the truth is a revolutionary act. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, and if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.